Hello everyone, welcome to the Split Screen Podcast. I am your host, Chris Garcia. It's an honor, it's a privilege to host you here today or tonight. I hope you're having a good day and night, depending on where you are when you listen to this. My name is Chris Garcia. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for coming back if you have listened before, and thank you for giving me a listen if you're new. It's a pleasure to have you here. Hopefully you stick around for more. For those of you who don't know, the Split Screen Podcast is a show where me, for the most part, and maybe occasionally one or two other people will join and just discuss something video game related, whether it's something funny, something serious, our thoughts on things. We just discuss random topics. So hopefully you stick around for more episodes. This is episode 9. If you would like to check out episode 8, I discussed the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl trailer, and then I go on to discuss if anything can top Super Smash Bros. So if that sounds somewhat interesting to you, maybe you can check that episode out. I'd really appreciate that. It's a hot one here today in KC, and I have my AC on, but I'm in this tiny room. I'm trying something different, a little bit of a different setup. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better, but there's like a really small AC vent in here, and it's like a sauna in here, but hopefully the audio is worth it. Also, JD, if you're listening to this, I have the hat you left here like a year ago on right now, and I'm taking really good care of it, so don't worry, it's in good hands. But let's just jump into the topic today. I think I'm only gonna do one topic. I say this every episode, I feel like, but this is gonna be a little bit of a short one. So, oh yeah, before I get started, real quick, if you want to follow my social media pages, if you want to follow the podcast, I would love if you did. We are on Facebook, Split Screen Podcast. We are on Instagram and Twitter. Both of those are Split Screen KC. So if you listen to the show and you want to give feedback and your thoughts on what I discussed today, feel free to send a message, leave a comment, tweet at me, whatever you want to do. And if you want to suggest more topics for future episodes, I would love to hear from you as well. You can also follow me personally on Instagram and Twitter. Both of those are KC Chris G, yours truly, rhyming accidentally. So let's get into the first topic here, and well, probably the only topic. And I want to discuss something. I already recorded an episode, but I had early access to the Back 4 Blood beta, as many of you might have. I played with Alex and Nate. I always got to shout my boys out, and I just wanted to kind of go over things that I experienced. So let's get into that. I have a notepad here for the first time, so I don't lose track. Yeah. So my thoughts on the Back 4 Blood experience and the beta so far. Where do I begin? Well, follow the notepad. So I just want to first say that I have been waiting for this experience and many of us have been waiting for this experience for, it seems like, if it's not a decade yet, it's been almost a decade. I had an absolute blast. It's just a beta. It wasn't perfect, but it was still a really, really fun time. Keep this in mind, though. I only played, and I apologize for saying a lot. I need to work on that. I only played, and I just did it. I only played the campaigns. I didn't play multiplayer. I didn't do versus. Hate on me all you want. I was too busy with the campaign experience. I was playing co-op with 2 or 3 of my buddies at a time, and I was having a blast. So I do apologize for not even considering the versus and multiplayer modes, but I was just having so much fun with the campaigns. Oh my gosh, I did it again. So with new characters, locations, and more customization options available to you than ever, this is a game that Left 4 Dead fans should be happy with, and I hope they are happy with this. I've seen some people say they didn't like it so much. Me personally, I loved it. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. There were bugs, but it was still a very, very fun time, and I had a lot of funny moments already in just the 4 days that we were allowed to play the beta. The beta offered 2 campaigns to play through, and each came with 4 levels. So you would have 3 point A to point B missions, and then you would have a finale at the end of the very last level. And those of you who are familiar with Left 4 Dead know that this is the usual formula for things. These are the same developers, after all, Turtle Rock Studios. And both of them were a little bit different from each other. I won't say they were like huge differences, but the finales were very different from each other. One, you had to plant 2 bombs on a ship and make it off in time. And the other one was you had to fire off mortar shells to close off a mine. Wow, voice crack. A mine shaft. And they were both very, very different, but the levels that led to those were point A to point B. But the director will mix things up for you, but I'll get into that later. So they let you play with all of the weapons and attachments. They even had a firing range at Fort Hope that you can test whatever you want, any combination you want, and find out what works best for you. They had baseball bats, hatchets, axes, shotguns, snipers, assault rifles, SMGs, everything in the game for you to test out. The different sights, barrels, suppressors, and many, many other options. There's more weapons in this than there ever was, I think, in both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. So if you want, you'll be testing out a lot to see what works best for you. There was like I said before, there was the occasional beta. There was the occasional bug here and there, like sometimes the AI, if you were playing with a bot, they would move around really, really weird, like they would go back and forth, it seems like. And sometimes they will just refuse to use items that they need to use. So hopefully that gets worked out a little bit. And there is this thing that I've seen a lot of comments on that I had an experience with along with Nate and Alex. So this is happening with a lot of weapons. It doesn't matter if it's a shotgun or a sniper or an assault rifle or whatever, what have you. When you fire off a shot while aiming down, I don't know if you have to be aiming down or not, but if you fire a single shot, sometimes it'll fire off 2 rounds instead of 1. The plus side of that is it doesn't use an extra round of ammo from your magazine. So it'll fire 2 shots, but it only counts as 1 because it knows it's not supposed to fire 2, but it does anyway. So hopefully that's fixed. It was kind of annoying after a while. I tried to use it to my advantage, but it just got annoying. So, and yeah, hopefully they fix that. So I also had to turn down the aim assist, and let me know about the aim assist too, and your thoughts on the aim assist, because to me it was way too strong. I'm a console player, so I kind of need the aim assist a little bit, but I had to basically turn it off. I think I had it on the lowest level possible because I was just the aim was so strong. I would have a certain zombie in my mind to aim at, and it would just completely aim at something else. Or I would try to shoot behind the zombies to hit the barrels to close off the mines, and it kept aiming after the zombies, which is, it's doing what it's supposed to do, but it just did it too much for my liking. I'm used to something like whenever I play Warzone or Call of Duty or Gears even, the auto aim is not nearly that bad, so I don't know. I put it down to the lowest sensitivity, and it still was really strong. So maybe I should have turned it off all the way, but I'm not sure what I had to do. So if you played the open beta, or the early access beta, let me know your thoughts on the aim assist, because to me, I think it was a little bit overkill. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Overall, I would say my experience with the beta was a really good one. I want to talk about something that some things that are new to the game that really made a difference, honestly. One very welcome addition was the ping system and the ability to share or drop spare ammo with your teammates and your squad. It's not something that's new to games, but it's new to games like Back 4 Blood. They didn't have that in Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2. You just kind of have to hope you came across an ammo pile. You can ping where things are. You can mark danger. You can tell people to meet up, and you can share ammo. That's a huge thing. Even if it's just one magazine's worth, that could get you pretty far. So the addition of being able to share ammo is critical, because you're picking up ammo. Sometimes you're picking up ammo all the time, and it lets you pick up ammo that you don't even need for weapons that you don't have. But let's say you pick that up and someone else needs that kind of ammo, you can just drop it for them because you don't even need it. So it's really nice. I really appreciated that addition to the game. Another welcome addition that also mixes things up a bit is the copper or money system. So Left 4 Dead, you just had to kind of find guns and ammo laying around. Here, finding copper around the level lets you buy upgrades at the next safe room and grenades, or you can buy, medical supplies. You can buy cards, things like that sometimes you find scattered around the level. I believe when the med station runs out of free uses, if you find one in the level, it costs 400 copper to use it again. So credits can come in handy mid-level, and they can come in handy before the level. It's up to you how you spend your copper. Also, something that is nice is if you have, let's say, 200 copper, and your teammate picks up copper from like way across the map, that still gets added into your copper total. You don't need to be the one to pick it up yourself. If someone picks it up, it gets distributed evenly to everybody. Like, everybody gets that amount. But not everybody's going to have the same total because you can spend your own money. So it's not a shared spending system, but it's a shared finding system, if that makes sense. So if you find copper, it's going to get added to your total and everybody else's total. Everybody's going to get the same amount. So that's really cool. It lets you buy, like I said, if you're at the start of the level, you can buy sights for your weapons. You can buy stocks, you can buy barrels and suppressors and ammo types and a lot of things like that. But like I said before, with the ping system, you can also spray paint across the map. So it's going to be interesting to see what different sprays you can unlock. You can add, I think you can add up to 2. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But you can kind of customize your sprays a little bit. They have certain designs that you can use, and you can spray them basically wherever you want. I don't know if there's a benefit to spraying, but if you want to make the levels more colorful, I guess you can go ahead and do that. So one thing I did notice though while playing, and I brought this up to a friend before, is that there's no musical cues to tell you what special ridden is coming up, or special infected, whatever you want to call them. I still call them special infected sometimes from Left 4 Dead. But there's no musical cues. So you know how you get that specific piano note or two whenever there's a smoker or a witch or a boomer by? You don't get that. At least from what I've played, I didn't hear anything like that. I could be wrong here, but I think each special ridden makes a specific sound. So maybe it's up to us to learn the specific sounds like we had to with Left 4 Dead with the musical cues. I'm not sure, but we'll have to test that out when the open beta comes out. The director is back from Left 4 Dead, and he mixes everything up. She, whoever the director is, mixes everything up every time you play through, from moving ammo piles and supply crates to removing unlockable doors from spots that, honestly, at first I thought were automatic spawns every time I played, because the first 2 or 3 times I played, they spawned in the exact same spot, and then I came to expect them there, and then one playthrough they were gone. So They remove doors that you can unlock with toolboxes. They replace med stations around the map sometimes, and sometimes they take away supply crates, or they'll add an extra one in there. Who knows? Sometimes the director works against you, sometimes they work for you. So it's not going to be the same playthrough every single time. Something is going to be different. So yeah, that's the director's back. Thankfully, it keeps the game fresh. That's one thing that Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 had going for it, was the director, because it made each playthrough just a little bit different, and sometimes it would be just challenging enough to where it was pretty satisfying when you beat a level. So let's move on to some other stuff here that I have on my notepad here, because I lose my train of thought sometimes. Yeah, so the weapons. Let's talk about that for a second, just for a second. And this is going to lead into difficulty. The weapons on Survivor seem pretty overpowered. You can, and I know the logic behind this. One headshot by, movie standards and things like that will end a zombie's life. It will down them. That's what happens in Back 4 Blood. You can probably have a BB gun. You can probably have a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock and shoot a zombie in the head, and they'll go down. So that's how it is on Survivor. But here's the weird thing. With Survivor, it's a breeze to get through each level until the finale, and when you get to the finale, it will spawn like 2 splody guys and maybe 3 bruisers at once and send them your way, along with a non-stop horde to really, really challenge you, to give you the most challenge that you're probably going to get on Survivor. It's a breeze to get through the levels on Survivor until the finale. When I bumped it up to Veteran, it was a completely different ball game. And when I say that, I mean it was very difficult to make it through just one level. I was constantly at half health or lower than that. The hordes were more ferocious than ever, not to mention the corruption cards that were being played against us. It just made it very, very difficult. Weapons didn't do nearly as much damage, and the riddance seemed to do like double damage against your health, not to mention that friendly fire is turned on at that point. So I'm pretty sure I was hitting a lot of my teammates, and I think I downed one of them at one point on accident. So whoever I was playing with, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure that was the same guy that said that we weren't waiting on him to pick cards because he's on PC, because I guess PC enables you to pick your cards faster. I'm not sure. Whatever he meant by that. But, yeah, it seems like weapons didn't do nearly as much damage, and the hordes were just so menacing. I was so terrified to move forward because I knew I was going to die probably if I moved any farther. Med kits seemed like they were non-existent, and it requires extreme teamwork to make it through that level. So I think I was in a limping state and low health for about 90% of that level. I don't think we made it to the finale even. I think we ran out of continues. So it seems like either the difficulty of Survivor needs to be increased a little bit, or the veteran difficulty needs to be like a smidge. Is it smidge or smidgen? I don't know. Needs to be a hair easier. I don't know. Or maybe I just need to get better at communication and teamwork, which is probably the answer. But I'm just going to go with the theory that I'm good and the game's just incredibly hard, so it needs to be nerfed. Or they just want us to learn the hard way and have us die all the time. But that brings up another issue. That brings us face to face with another issue, which is this. There is a big jump in difficulty, and there's a big jump in skill required between Survivor and Veteran, that people are going to die a lot when you transition from Survivor to Veteran, and just like I did. So with that being said, when you die, you have to start the level all over again from the very beginning in the safe room. So that was a pain in the ass, because I think we died. We used all of our continues, and it was kind of frustrating, honestly. Okay, so my mic cut out. I do apologize for a small cut. For some reason my mic stopped working, but I think I fixed it. Hopefully I fixed it. Man, what was I saying? We started over at the safe room. Okay, so we started over at the safe room, and yeah, you could see the safe room off in the distance, with its arms wide open, with a sweet embrace, ready to welcome you into its warm arms. They have the fire ready for you. They have s'mores ready for you in there. They have ice cold beer in the safe room, along with just an endless buffet of whatever food you want in the safe room. And then you die right before you get to the safe room, and then you have to start at the last safe room, and then you got to play it all over again. It is just beyond frustrating. So if you play veteran, you got to have great communication, and you have to be able to use your supplies wisely. Do not fire off rounds like I did. Do not waste your ammo. Don't waste your meds. Stick together. Because we were playing with, I think it was me and Alex and I, and we played against two other dudes that were kind of D-bags, and yeah, we all died. Anyway, I don't know. I don't really like, I know why they do it. I don't really like starting back at the safe room, and I know that's how it was in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, and the levels aren't long enough to justify checkpoints, but it's got to be the most infuriating thing when you know you're close to the end of the level and you still die and have to start all over. But that's just me. You get 3 continues to do the level, and then I think after that you're done. I think it takes you back to the menu, and I don't know if you can continue from that or what, but all I know is that you're going to have to learn fast. And the thing about that is you have to remember the director switches things up every time, so you might not have that ammo pile that you had last time. You might not have that med station that you had last time, or maybe it's going to spawn more for you. I think if you die, it gives you more ammo and occasionally more health, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I know one time I died and it gave me like plus 125 ammo capacity, and another time I died it gave me plus 5 health. So it gives you a little bit of buffs whenever you die, but puts you at the start of the level, and you never know what you're going to get on this next playthrough. It could change the ridden that spawn in. It could change the special ridden that spawn in. It's not going to be the same. So whatever mistake you made last time, you can try your best to avoid it, but you're also going to run into new challenges. So it's going to be kind of difficult for people that are new to this franchise to learn, but hopefully they catch on. Hopefully it's not too bad. Here's some positives that I want to point out. It's vast selection of weapons, when compared to Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I think I spoke briefly about it before, but it's got a lot of weapons. It's got pistols, SMGs, ARs, sniper rifles. It's got a couple of LMGs. It's got melee weapons. It's everything you could expect from Left 4 Dead and some. So you will have a lot more options to slay zombies with, and this is exactly what it's meant for. This is what we want in this game. As many weapons as possible to slay things with. One key feature that's missing in this is the chainsaw from Left 4 Dead 2. I think that's my biggest gripe about the melee weapons. Outside of, so I think they nerfed some of the melee weapons, like the fireman's axe. That still rocks. The machete, however, it's ass. Let's be real. If you pick Evangelo, you're going to start with a machete. It's absolute buns. So you're going to want to switch that out with, what I did is, and this is kind of cheese, I did there's 2 ways I play. I either focus on health or stamina. So what I did was I put the combat knife on, and then I immediately replaced the machete with the pistol because it's a one-hit quit sometimes. And if you're good with your aim for the head, that's a one-hit quit. Sometimes the machete will take 2 slices. I think a zombie even took 3 slices at one point. So I got rid of that thing. It's absolute testes. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't try the baseball bat. I heard it was really nice, though. So I did the combat knife, and then the next round I either did stamina or health. I would stack stamina because there's one level where you have to run down an alleyway or a really long street. You'll be able to outrun the zombies down a really long street, and you'll have half of your stamina left to just turn around and blast those things. Or you can focus all on health, or you could focus all on damage that you do. There's a lot of cards in the game. There's a lot of ways to play. There's a lot of play styles that are going to be forming, and there's going to be a lot of techniques that are going to be forming here soon. So be on the lookout for guides and techniques and things like that, because some of those might help you if you like to play a certain play style. Whether you like to run and gun, whether you like to stay back and pick them off one by one, whether you like to be stealthy, whether you like to go loud, whether you're a melee or you're a sniper, whatever. There's going to be a lot of different play styles because there's a lot of different cards to use. So there's a lot to this game already. Testing. Good Lord, my mic sucks today. I might need to invest in a new one. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I really do apologize, guys. This was supposed to be like one of the better quality episodes, and my mic just refuses to cooperate with me today. So I think I'm going to invest in a new mic here, maybe in a couple weeks or a week, and hopefully it makes a difference. So my sincere apologies. I'm trying to put out the best content I possibly can for you, and my mic's like, screw you, dude. You're in a hot sauna. I'm just going to make it worse by not cooperating. So I do apologize, guys. Really, I do. Hopefully I can get you your money back. Take a screenshot of your receipt, and I'll be with you shortly. But, so I think I was talking about customizations to your weapons. You can add different fast mags. You can add stabilization barrels. There's different sights. There's sniper scopes, hollow sights, and reflex sights, things of that nature. Stocks to increase your ADS speed, or it'll make your weapon more lightweight so you can run faster with it if you want to run a stamina setup. There's a lot of different ways to play, guys. It's going to be insane, the strategies that people come up with for this game. And the card system spices things up. The director plays corruption cards, so you get your cards to help you and your team out. The director gets corruption cards to help the ridden out. So they throw challenges your way to make things tougher and to spice things up a little bit each time. So some of them make it tougher for you, like more ferocious ridden, where they run faster and they can do more damage, or they take more damage, to other things like thicker fog throughout the area, throughout the entire level, to keep things a little bit eerie and honestly in a way claustrophobic, because that fog card is real. You can't see with that thing on until they're right in your face. So it's very interesting. I'm curious to see what other cards are going to be added into the game, ones that we haven't seen yet, and ones that will make it more difficult for us. I think there's ones that spawn more of a certain kind of special ridden and more hordes and things of that nature. So it's going to be very fun to learn what counters these cards best and what situations and what cards you need to look out for the most, and what you can adapt to that the director throws your way. So some of the cards that you can pick give you buffs like more health, stamina, ammo capacity, and faster reloads. You can also put cards on that affect the team as a whole. So there's cards that add plus 10 damage resistance. There's cards that add plus 5 or 10% team stamina. There's other ones that have explosive damage increase, explosive radius increase, things like that the whole team can benefit from, along with other ones that let you have increased inventory slots, like more ammo or more pain pills or bandages, more. You can add another toolkit if you want. You can add another ammo pouch, because I think you can only hold one to start, but some cards let you hold two, sometimes even three. So it's very, very interesting to see how different teams and different squads will use their cards to help themselves or each other. Also, each character comes with their own pros and cons. Some start with different weapons. Some people are better with weapons. Some people are better with melee weapons. Some people are meant to run a lot longer. Some people are better long range and things like that. So they gave, I think, 4 or 5 characters. I think it was 4 out of 8 that you can play with. And each one had their own playstyle. So you're going to want to pick whoever fits your style the best. And try to pick them before somebody else does, because you can only use one of each character. So it's going to be fun to see who adapts with what other characters, and if certain characters work better with others. It's going to be very fun learning the ins and outs of this game. So let's talk about the levels. The levels themselves are linear, but the director will keep things fresh. They'll spawn different ridden, things like that. You know the drill. There's these events in him called, well, I don't know what they're called, but certain events are unavoidable. You're going to have to call the horde to continue. So you're going to have to strategize on how you get through certain parts of the level, and destroying hives to progress through one level. Those will remain the same. The cards that are played against you are going to be different, though, each time. So there's going to be some things that are the same. The director, however, will spice things up just enough. And it's going to be very, very fun to see what other levels have in store for you, what other finales they have. The finales are the best part, because someone always dies. Let's be real. Someone always dies. Nate died right before he got to the bridge to leave the level, so that was really funny to see. I felt bad, but I was also laughing my butt off, so hopefully you guys enjoy the game as much as I did. So all in all, playing with friends is what this game is made for, and there's no doubt you'll be getting those hilarious moments that you had years prior with Left 4 Dead in this game. If you've been waiting for Left 4 Dead 3, like the rest of us have, then this game will and should satisfy your needs and more, with a lot more options and weapons and deck building. You can build custom decks, and features like continuing campaigns that you did before, and it saves whatever weapons you had. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to see the finished product before receiving, or I can't wait to wow, Chris, you are terrible at grammar. 25 years later, you still suck at English. I can't wait to see the finished product after they receive feedback from the alpha. They had an alpha, now they have a beta, and after that is the full release. So it's going to be very interesting to see the finished product and to see all the campaigns that we get. I don't know how many campaigns we're getting. I'm going to have to look into that. But either way, it's going to be on Game Pass day one, so you know I'm going to be on that bitch. But yeah, you can get your first taste of Back 4 Blood during the open beta that's running on PC, along with current and last gen consoles, all of them, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. Nintendo Switch is being left out. They didn't get invited to the party. They're not getting a release date, or they're not getting a release. Maybe later on down the line. But yeah, get your first taste of blood in Back 4 Blood during the open beta. That's going to be on August 12th through the 16th. So if you want to give it a try, if you've never played a Left 4 Dead game and you want to try one, this is the game for you. Give it a shot. I think you're going to love it. And if you're a fan of the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 and you've been waiting for Left 4 Dead 3, this is the time to hop on. It's a blast. Trust me. You will like it. There's way more to this game than there ever was in Left 4 Dead. And it's just going to be an absolute blast. Try the beta out. let me know what you think on our social media pages. Split Screen Podcast on Facebook and Split Screen KC on Instagram and Twitter. Let me know what you think after you play the beta. And let me know, are you excited after you play the beta? Let me know if you're excited for the game's release, or does it leave you concerned? Are you going to buy it or not? Unless you have Game Pass, then are you going to download it on Game Pass day one? Or is it one that you're going to wait for and kind of let things play out for a little bit and, maybe wait for some other patches to come out? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. For me, I think personally, I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to get it on Game Pass, and I'm honestly, hopefully my bosses aren't listening to this, but I'm going to be taking a day off to be playing that all day because I've been waiting forever for this game. So let me know what you think of the game, and if you played the beta, let me know what you think, by the way. I would love to hear your thoughts and some funny stories that you might have had when you played the beta. So I think that's all. I was going to do 2 topics, but I think I'll save that for another episode because this one's already about 35 minutes, so I think I'll leave it at that. But anyway, follow me on my social media pages. I just listed those, and if you want to follow me personally, my name's Chris Garcia. You can follow me on Twitter at KCChrisG and Instagram, KCChrisG. Leave me some comments, give me some feedback on the show and on the games that you play, and suggest topics. I would love to read through your comments and messages. So, my name's KCChrisG. Thank you guys so much for listening. It means the world to me. I love all the support that you guys give me. It motivates me to make this show. So, again, hopefully you enjoyed. I have a blast making this show, so I hope you guys at least enjoy it a little bit. But anyway, it's been an honor and a pleasure hosting you. Please take care of yourselves and each other and wash your hands. I hope to see you guys in the next episode of the Split Screen Podcast. This was episode 9. I will see you guys next time.